off and show their power and control over people who are very obedient to the laws of God and who are trying to follow the instructions of God. In other words, it's like evil against good. And it seems like it takes a long time for good to triumph over evil. But it does over a long period of time. And sometimes people don't know why it takes time and why do things happen the way it is. So it'll be interesting for us to study these characters. In the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is describing divine and demoniac natures. And he is going ahead to discuss in detail about those people who are demons and who don't actually want to follow the instruction of the Supreme Lord. Dvau bhuta sarga loke asmin deva asura evacha. Deva vistaras proktaha asuras tad vipariyaya. That the asuras are viparita actions they do. Vipariyaya means they do things against God's words and actions. So why are these people there and why do they develop these type of things? And why are they troubling? It's an interesting, deep study, but we don't have time to do that. But in this chapter, in the 16th chapter, Krishna speaks a lot about it. You can read that. I am just going to take off from where Krishna describes divine and demoniac natures. And he assures Arjuna that you are of divine quality. So we can get some idea of who is a demon, asura, in the Bhagavad Gita. And we can try to look into it in terms of, but the interesting thing about Ravana is, he is actually a devotee. So many things become confusing for people. Ravana and Ravana's previous history is interesting. Ravana, at least in some of the millenniums, he has got a previous history of being Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. And he was Hiranyakashipu. And in this lifetime, when he came as Ravana, he, along with Kumbhakarna, was the same Jaya and Vijaya who were doorkeepers of the Vaikunta. And then later in Krishna Leela, they come as Kamsa and Dantavakra. This way, in 3 lifetimes, they were Asuras when they went back to Vaikunta to become the Dwarapalakas again. So that is a little history on the side. Also, you may read about this in the Bhagavatam extensively. Who is Ravana? Well, this is the backside history, previous life of Ravana. And Ravana was born to Vishravas. Vishravas is a very nice Brahmana. And he got married to Kaikasi, who is the daughter of Sumali. Sumali is an Asura. And he planned this. He wanted his daughter Kaikashi to get married to a Brahmana, so that that combination of his power, her daughter's power, and a Brahminical power would actually yield an amazing progeny. And Kaikasi did not like this suggestion of her father very much, but anyway, she did it to satisfy her father. And then when Vishravas heard about this after they were married, he became very angry. And he cursed her. But then she fell at his feet and said, "It is not my thing, it's just my father forced me to do that. And I have no such intention of, spoiling my marriage and my relationship with you." So anyway, Vishravas said that since you have asked for pardon and everything, you'll have a saintly son also. In this way, she gave birth to 3 sons and 1 daughter. There was Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, who was a saintly person. And there was Surpanaka. These were the children of Vishravas. And Ravana and all of them went to do severe austerities. They did austerities for many, many years in order to get some powers, in order to become strong and everything. Why? Because his mother of Ravana became envious of the fact that her husband's another wife, whose son was Kubera, was ruling the Trikuta mountain, Sri Lanka, and he was full of gold. And he also got a position as the treasurer of the demigods. So she was telling, my co-wife is, got Kubera as her son, and he's thriving like nothing. Why don't you also go and do something, some tapasya, something, and gain some pious credit? And this way she inspired all her children to go. And they went and did severe austerities. And then you know the story. Ravana, asked that I should not be killed by any human being. I mean, I should not be killed by anybody. And he didn't ask, human beings are puny guys, I can handle them type of thing. And then he got severe boons. And Vibhishana, when he was asked what he wants, he said, I want the mercy of Vishnu. And then he became a devotee, and Ravana hated it. He said, what are you? What type of a demon are you? I mean, you should be a proper demon. Now you've become a worse demon. You've gone on the other side. Right. And then in this way, Kumbhakarna made a mistake while asking for his boon. And then he instead got a boon that he will sleep for 6 months and stay eating for 6 months, like that. And Shurparaka got a boon that she can change her form and something like this. In this way, Ravana became very strong because he was the only one out of all of them who was so demoniac. And he asked exactly what he wanted because he wanted to rule over all the devatas. He wanted to become very powerful, and he wanted to have advantage over anybody and everybody. So Ravana was already born like that. He had 10 heads and 20 hands. He was a real monster of the first type. Horrible looking monster. But at the same time, he looked very well built and extremely attractive as a Kshatriya. And he immediately went around ravaging. He straight away went and took over Kubera, took over Kubera's Pushpaka Vimana, took over Lanka and sent him out to satisfy his mother. Was very happy. And then he went around doing amazing things, and he took over all the 3 worlds. All the demigods were his servants waiting, tell me what to do next, like that. So all sorts of, people were his assistants, and he was free to do anything he wants. And Ravana's hobby was collecting women. He was so lusty, highly lusty, greedy, proud, full of, arrogance of the highest order, because he was so powerful. There's all these boons he had. But obviously there were other people who had better situations. But I think they didn't have such a great horoscope like Ravana had. Sometimes you're very powerful, but you don't have a good horoscope. But Ravana had everything because of his piety, and everything was really ruling on top. And this is how Ravana got very powerful. But actually, we'll see from the Ramayana, although he was very powerful, some people who were least powerful took over him. The Vanaras, the monkeys. Why? Because Ravana was so arrogant, so proud, so lusty, so greedy and everything, that he went around doing all sorts of crazy things. He had 19 curses on his head. From Ashtavakra Muni, he had a curse because he went and kicked Ashtavakra Muni and said, wow, you have got 8 different bends in your body. I can set it right for you. And then Ashtavakra said that, yes, you will see that monkeys will be the persons who will kick you from head to toe, and you will die like that. They'll be the people who become angry. You deserve to be kicked by monkey. And in this way, different people gave him different. Vasishta gave him curse. Nalakubera gave him curse because he raped his wife right in front of him. And then Dvaipayana gave him curse because he did something to Dvaipayana's sister. He said, your sister also will lose her nose, her ears and lips, everything will be finished. because you did this to my sister. In this way, he had a list of curses on him. He was so arrogant and so proud. So his hobby was collecting women. Some people collect stamps, some people collect coins, some people do this. But his collection was, I mean, I don't do all these small things. He picks up women from all over the creation, everywhere he sees beautiful women, he'll take them away and he'll bring them in his chariot, put them in his harem. He had hundreds of women, like we saw yesterday when we heard about Hanuman. So in this way, Ravana was such a character, such a character. So you will see these descriptions of such people in the Bhagavad Gita also in this chapter I mentioned to you, 16th chapter. What are their qualities, what they do, and why do they act like this? So it so happened that Ravana heard about these two people, that is Rama and Lakshmana, in the forest. And the news came to him because of Shurpanaka going there. Shurpanaka can assume any beautiful form. So she assumed this very beautiful form and saw Ramachandra and became very attracted. Lord Ramachandra has a very beautiful form. He attracted many, many people actually. Even the rishis and sages of the forest became very attracted to him for his physical beauty. And it is mentioned that I will give you company physically in Krishna Leela. And that's why it's mentioned Rishi-chari gopis are there. Many of these rishis became gopis and were born in Vrindavan and gopis families. And they took part in the Ras Leela with Krishna. Because he said, now I am in a different mode and I'm in a different Leela. And I also have a Ekapatni Vrata. I know that you are very appreciative of my form and you can actually experience it. And the Rishi-chari gopis are the ones who took part in the Ras Leela also. So Rama had a very beautiful form. Shurpanaka obviously got attracted. And she went to him and said, wow, you look so handsome, you look so beautiful, and I am also beautiful. And why don't you get married and let's go, and I will take you around the forest. We can have fun, hills, valleys, and everywhere. I can move anywhere and everything and all this. So Rama said, I don't mind actually. He took it a very humorous way. He said, I don't mind actually, but if not the fact that I'm already married and I have a wife. And this is Sita, my wife. But why did he ask my brother Lakshmana? He's still single, You might as well try him out. And he's as good as me. I can tell you that. And he's very, very strong and very dedicated. And then Shurpanaka started looking at Lakshmana, went towards Lakshmana. And Lakshmana said, oh, really? But I'm not interested very much like that. Actually, you don't believe what my brother is saying. My brother can very well have another wife. Both of them are playing the fool with Shurpanaka. My brother can very well have another wife. He's just bluffing to you, right? There's nothing wrong for him to have another wife like this. And she came back to Rama. And Rama, she said that, you should come back. We should do I should do this thing. And then she said, the problem is because of this insect of a person called Sita that you have, your wife. All problems are coming because of her, and I'll finish her and then we can be happy. And she jumped on Sita, and then Ramachandra told Lakshmana to look after, and then he cut off her nose and her ears and all that, and she went screaming. That was a beginning, right? Shurpanaka went with her nose cut off. Can you imagine? Permanently cut off. Nose got chipped off. Because he didn't want to kill a woman. So Lakshmana just disfigured her. So she went back to Kara and Dushna, her brothers, and she said all these things and cried to them, and Kara and Dushna came, and Kara and Dushna were killed, and then a whole army of 14,000 people, an army, Lord Ramachandra killed them alone. Alone he stood on the battlefield with his armor, and he told Lakshmana, take Sita, keep her safe in the cave. Alone he routed this entire 14,000 people. And there was a shocking news into the Rakshasa kingdom, into the, Ravana's kingdom. And Ravana heard that some of his best people in Janasthan have been killed by these two people. He started thinking very carefully, who are these two people? If they are so strong and so good, right? And from then on started things in Ravana's mind. Two reasons. One, he heard about the beauty of Sita from Shurpanakha. After Kara, Dushna and all these people were finished, Shurpanakha came to Ravana and she changed the whole plate. She said, actually, what I was trying is, when I saw Sita, I thought, this lady should not be Ramachandra's possession. She should be my brother's possession, actually. She's fit for my brother Ravana. That is why I made this approach and I got my nose disfigured. All for you I did, and I got this thing, and you're sitting here and doing nothing, simply drinking and enjoying. Don't you know what? And she had very heavy. Then she described Sita's beauty. And Ravana's eyes became, wow. You speak about women, he was completely finished. And that was one main reason that was roaming around that was spinning around in his head. And the other one was the fact that Ramachandra is not an ordinary person. Shurpanakha tells him, you better go properly. If you don't make a proper strategy and you don't think this person is an ordinary person, single-handedly has killed the entire army. So don't underestimate him. You better take your army and go. So Ravana thought of a better plan. He sat down and strategized. This is amazing thing about demons. People who want to do wrong, they plan a lot. And they strategize a lot. And they carry out their thing very successfully, and they get that great thrill that, see, I planned, I did it, I executed it, I am victorious, I am great, I'm able to do it. That they feed themselves that feeling. And the more they feed themselves that feeling, the more high they go. Because the higher they go, they can have a greater fall. So Maya really gives them opportunities to go higher and higher and higher and higher. So Ravana, did this amazing thing of planning and going to Maricha and speaking to Maricha. You should just know that intelligent people, very well-read, very educated people can also be demons. Ravana is an example of a person who is a pandit. He was very good at chanting mantras. It seems even the Devas sometimes called him to chant mantras because he was very good at doing it. He had all the Brahminical quality of his father. So normally it's mentioned that he was a Brahmana and an Asura. So it's not a great thing that you may be a Brahmin, you may know Sanskrit very well, you may know to chant the mantras very well, you may know the entire Vedas very well, but you're against the Supreme Lord. And you can be very pious, you can have huge pious credit also, like Ravana, by doing sacrifices, by doing austerities and everything, and you can extract that piety also. But your intention can never change. You can be asuric. Many people don't understand this. They don't know how it's possible that you could be religious and still be asuric. Isn't it? If I go to the temple, if I'm very religious, I go to so-and-so temple, Ayyappa temple, Muruga temple, Ganapati temple, Devi temple, and ask for all material requirements. And you're nothing better than, Ravana is asking for material requirements too. You're also asking for material requirements from the great devatas. It is just that you don't go berserk and do the wrong things. So there's not a great difference. If you don't make out properly, you will see that even the demons are doing sacrifices, homas, yajnas, chanting mantras, everything. Sometimes people think only religious people who are very God conscious do this. No, demons also do that. Demons also do that. In other words, even a demon can be pious and use all the pious credit for doing something wrong. The intention is wrong. The intention is against the absolute truth, reality, Bhagavan. We're envious. So I may, accumulate all these great material assets, but how I use it and what's my intention really tells you whether you're demoniac or you are divine. So Ravana is an example of having pious credit to a great extent and having power, knowledge, everything. But the differentiating feature alone, he remains asuric. So that's why his mind works in a different way. And he has all these asuras. He did all these great austerities and he took over this Lanka and all that. Then he invited all the people from lower planets to come and stay with him. All the Patala Loka, Rakshasas and all of them came to Lanka and occupied it. Because he wanted people of his kind. They do certain types of things in certain ways. And that was what was exciting to him. He was called Ravana because he made people cry and he loved to see them tortured and watch them cry and get harassed. And, he get pleasure out of it. Other people's suffering and anxiety, he gets great pleasure out of it. That's why his name is Ravana. He makes others cry. Right? So he saw this as an opportunity. It's exciting. I should take this woman away. And then I should make this fellow cry, this Ramachandra. And the best way to do that is not to fight with him because I may lose with him. So the best way to give him maximum misery is, I heard that he's very attached to his wife. Pull out the wife from him. And when he's miserable, I will attack him and finish him. Now, when he's with his wife, who's so beautiful and so wonderful, right? He must be in very high spirits. So he had this whole psychology. So that's the plan. And he told Maricha that I want to do this. And Maricha, when he first came, he said, "You're a fool. Get lost. Don't do this. It'll kill you and kill the whole race." Then after Shurpanaka came and reported, he went to Maricha and said, "You please do what I tell you to do, otherwise I'll kill you." And before that, Maricha said that, "Don't try this. You don't know this guy called Rama. I have faced him when he was 12 years old. And he shot me 800 yojanas away into the sea. And now he's grown up and he's extremely adept. And you'll be stunned at what he can do. So don't face him. Don't get into his bad books." So Ravana said that, "You don't worry about it." So Maricha said that, "This is the end of you. I know very well. And it is the end of me also. Because if I don't listen to you, you will kill me. And if I listen to you, I will die from Rama's arrow." So Marisha said that better I die from Rama's arrow than get killed by you. And you will anyway die, because this is the thing that you should never do. Especially you should never do it to Rama. But he was bent upon doing it. It's exciting for me to do it to somebody called Ramachandra, because I heard he's very powerful. I want to tease such people, make them suffer, make them cry, and then I'll get them. That's the type of, mentality Ravana has. And so it happened that he was forcing Marisha to come, and Marisha became the wonderful, beautiful looking deer, a golden deer with silver spots and gems and stones and sheen on it. It was very amazing looking. Maricha assumed that form. You see, it's not real deer. When it is not real and out of the ordinary, it definitely becomes very attractive. It's illusory. It's not a deer. So Sita became enamored like nothing. It was, trumpeting around. It was, hopping around. It was eating. And it was doing a very good job. Maricha was doing a very good job because he does this regularly. He's done this in the past many times for Ravana. Right? So he did that very good. And Sita couldn't control herself. She said, excited like nothing. Look at this. Look at this. So nice. Please come. Come, Rama, Lakshmana. See, look at this. How pretty, how cute it is. Don't you think it's time for us now to go back to Ayodhya? We are at the end of our exile. Don't you think we should take something very unique and special to Ayodhya? This is exactly what I want to take. Right? You must get this deer for me. Lakshmana is the only one who says that, I don't think you should go behind this deer. There's no deer, such deer at all anywhere. This is a demon. And he's come, and there is some plan somewhere, something going on. Don't do that. But Rama was completely infatuated by Sita's requirement. And Sita just kept pushing Rama. This is an instance that, has many parallels also in our lives. One thing I told you is the parallel is there are people like Ravana in this world. And we don't have to necessarily always think I'm the Rama of this world. It's not that because you don't have 10 heads and 10 hands, you have nothing to do with Ravana. Actually, we have weaklings in Kali Yuga. We can't be so much of a Rama or so much of a Ravana. But we definitely can have small inklings in the same direction. We can have small samples of that type of a character. Because I told you that, I think I mentioned this to you earlier, in Satya Yuga, that the first Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. In Satya Yuga, these Asuric formats were distinctly different. There was planets of the Asuras, and there was interplanetary fights. Asuras were fighting with the Devas, and there was interplanetary fight. Then in Treta Yuga, when Ramachandra came, it became one country against the other, Ayodhya versus Lanka. And then come down to Dwapara Yuga, it became inside one family. There was Duryodhana, cousin of the Pandavas, fighting and killing them and wanting to finish them. And now comes in Kali Yuga, it goes deeper, it goes inside each person, both the tendencies are there. It depends on what tendency you feed and what grows stronger and bigger. Right? That's why I said that initially, a lot of people now think that Ravana is a great hero. A lot of people think Karna is the real hero of the Mahabharata and not Krishna. And somebody has written a big book from Kerala saying that, I don't know whether many of you or Keralites may know, somebody called M.T. Vasudevan. And he wrote this book, I think, that Karna is the real hero, not Krishna. So look at the tendency. This is an Asuric tendency. Somebody else will say, no, this is free thinking. This is freedom of thinking. No, but this freedom of thinking without knowing underlying principles, underlying philosophy, underlying realities. Everybody is free to think what you want and imaginatively write things and examine and think things. But this whole science, as is mentioned, the Bhagavad Gita has got some principles behind it. Who is a demon, who is divine, and why it's so. So therefore, in Kali Yuga, it lands up within the same person. And that's why, and although we are very weak, these forces, a small force is enough for us to really catch hold of us. That's why I see that even people born in good families, in Brahmin families, I was given a stand-up comedy by somebody teasing, Kunti Devi, teasing Draupadi for having 5 husbands and, making fun like nothing. And the whole family is sitting together and laughing at all these great devotees being made fun of. It's a comedy. They're tearing apart Ramayana and Mahabharata and everything. And it's a whole lot of religious people, Hindus, sitting and laughing it out. They're actually enjoying it in a very strange way because they never got any proper instruction throughout their life. Right? So it's a funny streak that comes out, and you like to pat it and massage it in such company. It'll come out of you. That's why if we keep in good company, dushangam and satsangam, It's very important to keep good company. Ravana surrounded himself by people who were, all sorts of rakshasas and demons and everything. And he gave complete value to something different. So having said that, he abducted Sita. I was trying to mention that this situation happens in our life, that this deer, illusory deer, the razzle-dazzle of this world is like the Marisha deer. It's actually artificial. It's not really true. But we get really excited, we get really attracted, and we go behind many of these things in this world. Actually, it's exactly like that deer. Over a long period of time, we understand that we've been fooled. And it's not really like what it seemed. And it's a little hollow. And by the time it's too late, you're dead. So this is a theme of the Ramayana, that chasing that deer, which actually waylaid Ramachandra and Lakshmana and allowed Sita to be abducted. That illusion, if you go behind in this world, you get stolen by Maya apahrita jnana asurim bhavam ashrita. You get stolen, you get waylaid, you get completely mistracked. And most of the people in the material world are people who have come in search of that wonderful, shiny, golden deer with the silver spots. And they're looking for it everywhere. And in this way, we get lost. And we become separated from Ramachandra. We become separated from the Supreme Lord. And we suffer. So this theme is brought out very wonderfully in many commentaries of the Acharyas. It's not only a story, it's an allegorical story. And there is meaning to everybody and everything in this world in relation to us. So anyway, the story is that the deer, Ramachandra says, anyway, what is there? If it's a demon, I'll kill it. If not, I'll get it. So don't worry about that. Keep Sita safe. Be here. He tells Lakshmana, don't move from here. Maybe some plan is there, so you stay here. Now comes the real thing. And Rama goes behind that deer, and then, it just disappears here, there, and carries him into the forest. And then at some point of time, Rama says, enough is enough. And he shoots the deer, and the deer dies. Marisha dies. When he's dying, he screams, oh, Sita, oh, Lakshmana, like that. Made sure that he will say that. And Rama's arrow on Marisha gave him great benefit. Died. Then he took this real form. So Rama knew, I've been fooled by this deer. So he went back. He's going back. In the meantime, what happened? Here, famous, I think all of you would have heard about these things, but I still thought I should go through it. Hearing this voice of, oh Sita, oh Lakshmana, immediately Sita becomes highly disturbed. She says, oh, Rama is in great distress. Something must have happened. Lakshmana, go immediately. Go and see what's happened. Lakshmana will not respond at all, because he has got a higher order from Ramachandra. Don't move from here, whatever happens. So he doesn't move. And then she says, can't you hear me? You do not hear me? Don't you know that your brother is in great trouble and you should protect him? Please go immediately. And then Lakshmana will again, Lakshmana has never seen Sita's face. Throughout the 14 years in the forest, he never sees her face. He always looks only at her feet out of respect for her. Never looked at her face. So you can see that she's telling him, go, go, and he's just looking down. He's not doing anything. I've got a much higher order, and you will say these things, I know. Then he replied, because she was, shouting, and then he said, no, don't worry. Ramachandra, there's nobody who can do anything to my brother Ramachandra. Right? Then Sita becomes completely different. Shira's saying, so you wretch, I think I know what's in your mind. You're not going because let my brother die so that I can enjoy Sita. This is what is your real plan? You think that I'll become yours? I'll become your queen and you can go back and you can take the kingdom from Bharat and become this thing? Now I understand what a lusty wretch you are. I'll never become yours. Don't you dare think that you can do that. Oh, she started saying all sorts of things. It was so difficult for Lakshmana to hear it. Very painful for him to hear it. And he said, my dear mother, please listen. There is no necessity for you to say all these things at all. They're extremely difficult for me to hear. I've closed my ears. They're so hurting. They're worse than arrows that I send out of my bow. This is horrible for me. Don't worry. I'm telling you, I know. This is a trick of the Rakshasas. Don't fall for it. That deer is a Rakshasa. And Ramachandra will get it. And he will come back victoriously. There is nothing that can kill my brother. You saw him, 14,000 warriors, he just routed them. What weapon does he not have? What does he not know? Why are you worried? And she'll again say, no, you're saying all these things for a different purpose. With great difficulty, because she pushes him so much, he will leave. And he will say that, please understand that I'm going only because you say so. My brother has already given my command that I should not move from here. See, when we do not listen to our authority, or when we are forced by frivolousness, by shallow thinking, to diminish the importance of certain rules, certain strictures, we fall into trouble, especially in spiritual life. And spiritual life is a life of discipline. You have to do certain things. It's called sadhana. If you do a sadhana very well and avoid temptations to not to do it, or to skip it, or to indulge a little bit this way, that way, if you have that discipline, you actually progress. I give the example of a kite. If you fly a kite, the kite goes higher only when it moves against the breeze. You know, it goes high because the breeze is hitting it. And you pull it taut like this, it just moves up. In other words, when you work against some, temptations, you work against the wind and do the right thing, you actually rise up. You go up. That's the example of a kite. So we must learn from this instance that following the instructions of experienced authorities like the Acharya, like Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, in his experience and in his wisdom, he gave lots of wonderful instructions on how to live in this world and negate practicing Krishna consciousness. And he said, Kali or Maya cannot touch you. He actually said, I have crafted a whole process. I have, hatched a plot using Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions, Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. If you simply follow it, you can stay free from any material attack. Somehow people are not able to do it. Some of them, or many of them, or whatever. If they're not able to do that, you succumb to certain temptations. Like here, Sita is unable to control herself. She is not able to listen to Lakshmana, who's saying, don't worry, I know very well more than you. I'm a warrior like your brother. I go to wars with your brother. I tell you nothing is wrong. But she thought otherwise. She forced him to do something which he did not want to do. And that was the plan of Ravana. And Ravana came and abducted Sita. And Sita was screaming and a whole lot of things happened, and Jatayu tried to help, and Jatayu's wings were clipped and his talons were clipped and he fell down. And in this way, Sita regretted having sent Lakshmana away. And then starts the whole lamentation of Ramachandra that I did this and you did this, and somehow the Rakshasas got the better of us. And he was lamenting and lamenting and lamenting and became very morose and depressed. But this person called Ravana, he scored a wonderful point. He thought, wow, I hoodwinked Ramachandra. My plan worked perfectly and I got Sita in my hands now. And there is that person roaming around the forest, like a ghost without his wife. Serves him right for what he did. That was the feeling that Ravana had. He was enjoying that feeling. Then he was keeping Sita captive and torturing Sita with words and everything also. This is Ravana. In a poetic term, in literary terms, there's a phrase called Schadenfreude. It's a German word. Schadenfreude means getting pleasure out of another's suffering. You put somebody else into suffering and enjoy it. In modern days, they say this guy is a sadist, some psychological stuff is wrong with him. So there are people, especially the Asuric people, who feel very happy in torturing the Brahmins, torturing the rishis and sages, torturing the devotees, and doing things against God consciousness. These are demons. And you'll see many people today do that. They find it's a great fashionable thing to speak something against the tradition, to do something against the tradition. And they're applauded by many such people. It's all the influence of colonialism, the British ruling, the Mughal ruling, and the dinning and dumbing that we received, saying that your religion is useless, you're ritualistic, you're faith-based, you guys have no reason, you don't know what you're doing. There's, fanatic. And religion also became like that. Hindu religion also became like that because nobody knows the Bhagavad Gita fully. Nobody knows the real essence of the Gita, the Vedas. Everything became very materialistic. And that's why today you see people are fooling around and talking ill about their own religion. And the Muslims, the Christians and others find that Hindus are so stupid that they join us in teasing their own religion. It's very strange, this attitude that prevails inside. You don't have respect for your own because you don't have knowledge about that. And your type of knowledge is based on the questions raised by others who oppose this Sanatana Dharma, and you never care to study and understand exactly what this rich tradition is. So this is how Ravana is born inside us also. If you don't care to take hold of your spiritual life and govern it and look after yourself as a spirit soul, then definitely you'll get swept away by Ravana moments, right? So this is what happened. And Sita suffered in Ravana's hands. You got swept away, taken away, because you didn't want to listen. You don't listen to your acharya, you don't listen to your guru, you don't listen to this thing. You'll find yourself in the hands of Maya and demoniac forces. That's why it's necessary for us to listen to Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshayo Viduhu. Why is Krishna saying this knowledge is coming in the parampara, and great Raja Rishis, the kings, instituted it because those who follow it remain safe, sound, and on the right track. Because there are these other demoniac forces always attacking people, subtly through their minds and subtly through other ways and everything. So Ravana was such a person, but at the same time, Ravana was cursed, like I told you. And it's not that Ravana, like I said, is good times for Ravana because of his pious credits. But there are times when he understood that I'm not really so powerful. And he made amends. He was very smart in making good quid pro quo arrangements Wherever he found it was not possible for him. There's a story of Kartyavirya Arjuna. You know, that great person that Parashurama chopped off all his, he had 1,000 hands, a devotee of Lord Shiva. And he pleased Lord Shiva by playing mridanga with his 1,000 hands and everything. And Lord Shiva danced. You know, he found an amazing troupe to have 1,000-handed person playing drums and that and this instrument, everything together, and Lord Shiva would dance. So he was very powerful. He got boons and he was extremely powerful. So he came with his women and all that. Ravana was once parked on the bank of this beautiful river, and he was doing his worship of Lord Shiva, and he was camped with his soldiers and everything, and he worshipped Lord Shiva. And in that place, Kartyavirya Arjuna dived inside the waters along with his women, and he was sporting with them and splashing around. Then in order to show off to the women, he said, look, I can stop the flow of this whole river. I can dam it by myself. I am myself a dam. And he held his 1,000 hands and held the waters. He became a dam. You know, network of his hands like this, like this, like this, like this. And he held the water and the level rose up and up and up and up. And it flooded that entire troop where Ravana was sitting. And he was worshipping. He got extremely disturbed. He came and attacked Kartyavirya Arjuna. Kartyavirya Arjuna, in just, with one stroke, tied him up to a rope and kept him jumping and dancing like a monkey. Ravana was made like a monkey. And he said, he keep jumping and dancing. For 1 year, he kept Ravana like that. It was so bad that, other great persons who supported Ravana went to Kartyavirya's father and told him, your son has done this to Ravana, it's very bad, release him. And because Kartyavirya was told by higher forces, said, okay, get lost. Don't try to disturb me anymore. And Ravana, he struck a truce with him. You don't come to Lanka and do anything to me. I don't do anything to you. We are both friends, okay? He instantly understood that Kartyavirya Arjuna is very powerful. I should be his good friend. He struck a friendship with him. So it's not that Ravana was like super powerful, that there was nobody else on the whole situation. But he was very strategic, very smart in getting what he wanted. Many asuric, demoniac gratifiers would always find they could do that very nicely.
9 o'clock.
Same way, what happened is Lord Ramachandra crossed the ocean, and then he had landed in Lanka, and they were all bristling with energy, ready to fight. Everything was good. The omens were good. Vibhishana has joined, and Vibhishana knows the entire plan. All over Lanka is revealed everything to them. And then Sugriva, all of a sudden, when he landed, he was so excited that he leaped, and they saw this beautiful palace of Ravana. And they heard that Ravana is on the top floor, on the 10th floor on the top. So he leaped and just boom, without asking anybody, he went right there in front of Ravana. And it seems Ravana was having a bath and then he was making himself up. He had so many people giving him makeup and combing his hair and perfuming his armpits, and everything was going on. And he has a huge mirror. He was watching himself in that. Sugriva went there and he became smaller, came in front of Ravana and spat on his face. It's mentioned, he spat again and again and again on his face. Because this was the curse. Monkeys will come and harass you and they'll finish you and they'll take over you. So he spat on Ravana's face, and Ravana didn't know from where this spray is coming. What is this? Because the monkey was too small. And then he was saying, excuse me, the makeup fellows, are you doing something that is different? I didn't see these things happening before. And then he found all of a sudden this monkey, and he caught hold of the monkey. And monkey, he said, who the hell are you? This monkey, so small monkey, who the hell are you? And Sugriva said, I am one of the very insignificant soldiers of Rama's army. And then boom, he flew again after spitting into his face again. And he jumped and he came back. And they asked, where were you? I just went and did the needful. I spat on Ravana's face to inaugurate the whole war. And I came. Such a band of monkeys. So Ravana was furious like nothing because he couldn't catch this monkey. He spat on his face and left. Same way, Angada, was sent by Ramachandra. He said, that's not the way to do things. I want to officially send a person. I think Sugriva is too silly. Hanuman cannot go because I already sent him for another this thing. So he was told that Angada is the only other decent fellow who can go and be a representative. So Ramachandra sent Angada. Give Ravana a message. I have nothing against him. I just want Sita back. If you give Sita back, I have nothing against you. I can be your friend. I can even protect you when anybody attacks Lanka. I'll be your good friend. All I want is Sita back because I don't want to kill all your demons. I don't want all my monkeys to suffer. And let's avoid the war. I've come all the way. Just give me Sita back. This is the message you should go and tell Ravana. So Angada went and jumped in front of Ravana. And he said, I am a messenger from Ramachandra. And I've come with a message for you. And the message is that Ramachandra is saying, just return Sita. We don't have to fight. There'll be no deaths of demons and there'll be no death of any monkeys. And we can live happily. I can be your good friend. I can help you. Anytime you need my help, you can ask me. So you're powerful and I don't want to spoil things. You're Rakshasa race and you're doing what you want to do. So Ravana immediately said, forget it. I'm not returning Sita back. I'm not returning Sita back. And what will a puny human do to me? What do you monkeys can do to me? You stupid monkey. And then Angada said, no, I just want you to know what's the power of each one of us. And he put his feet in front of Ravana's face. And he said, can you move this? Can you move my toe? Forget the feet, just move my toe alone. And then Ravana got very insulted. He told his son, Indrajit, you do it. So Indrajit immediately tried to hold this thing and he couldn't shake it a millimeter. It was just a monkey sitting there with his toe in front. He couldn't shift it a millimeter. And he was stunned. What? And then he asked another general to do it and he couldn't shake it a little bit. And Angada was just sitting with his hands folded. And he just put his toe up in front of Ravana's face. And then Ravana took over and then he started doing things and then nothing happened. He couldn't move it. Then Angada told him, you are going to die. I am just one of the thousands and hundreds and millions of monkeys. The whole place will be devastated. Rethink again. And asuric as he was, arrogant as he was, he tried to hurt Angada and Angada flew back and said, there's going to be war. I've done what I need to do. And that's when war happened. In this way, Ravana actually became disturbed. Meh. Hanuman came, set fire. Sugriva came and spat on my face. Angada's toes are not able to move. I think there is a force to reckon with here. There is something going on here. Who can help me to give some advice and what to do and what not to do? He's a lonely guy. So he was thinking of this person, that person, this person, all that. And finally he said, wow, right, Bali. He's a demon and he's powerful. Bali, he ruled. And he is related to me because he's also an Asura. And he went zoom to Sutala planet. And he went there and met with Bali. But when he went and met with Bali, at every doorstep there was Vamana. because that was the boon. Bali Maharaj surrendered, he got this boon that every doorstep I'll be standing to welcome you. But when he went there, he, in his royal way, he went to meet, he met with Vishnu there again. He said, wow, what is Vishnu doing here in the form of a dwarf? But somehow he was able to get inside. And he came inside and met Bali and said, how did you come inside, by the way? I have a very, very powerful person at the gate, Vishnu himself. And then he said, no, I just came and he allowed me to go in. And that struck a chord in Bali. Oh, he allowed you to go in? Then I think he's already doing something. He's already doing something to you. That was in his mind. So, see, Bali, he said, what did you come here for? What do you want? Oh, I'm happy to meet you after a long time. And they shared a little sweet nothings and all that. And then he said, okay, what do you want? Why do you monkeys are all over my place. In my country, my land, monkeys are all over the place. And this guy called Rama, you know him? Dasharath's son? Yes. He has brought these monkeys, and then, I took his wife away, and he's come up, and there's a big battle, and I just want to know how to do it and what should I do. And so Bali said, just give Sita back. Ravana said, no, I can't do that. Then you can die. You can die. What can a puny human being do to me? What that guy can do is just hanging around with his lost wife in the forest. And then conversation went on and on, to and fro. Then Bali said, okay, you do what you want to do. I just we are brothers and we are demons, and therefore I want to give you a gift. Please come with me. Where? The gift is outside. I want to show you the gift. And then he took him and showed him a big mountain of gold. And on the other side of it was diamonds, huge diamonds. And he said, wow, this whole thing for me? Yeah, you can take it. You can take it. It's a gift for you. You came here after a long time. What gift for me? Why would you give this whole mountain of gold to me? I'm saying, take it. The only thing is that you'll have to lift it and take it. And Ravana said, yeah, I can do it. I've lifted Kailash for Lord Shiva. And then he went and tried to lift that. That didn't come up. He tried very hard. And he said, I can easily do this. I don't know why I'm not able to do it now. And said, please stand back, come back. And they flew back and said, see from the top what it is. And then he could say, wow, it looks like a earring. It looks like a earring. Exactly. This is the earring that you wore. Me wore? I never wore such a huge earring. You wore when you were Hiranyakashipu. This is Hiranyakashipu's earring that has fallen here. When you were Hiranyakashipu in your previous life, this was just a small earring. And that means what your size would have been. And you know how casually you were ripped apart, your stomach was dissected, intestines were taken out of it. That same person only is Rama. That same person only is Rama. You could even lift this, and that's just a earring, and so powerful you were. You could imagine your size. That person was ripped apart. So now you can go and take your own decision. He went and got this consultation from Bali. Bali told also return Sita. But no, Ravana did not do it. Mandodari told him. Kumbhakarna told him. Everybody told him. Bali Maharaj told him. Everybody told him, return Sita, everything will be fine. But Ravana never did it. He was a very lusty person. I want to enjoy Sita. This is a material mentality. The mentality of never recognizing the possessions of the Lord. Isavashyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita makrida kasya suttanam. It's a beautiful shloka right in the beginning of the Isavasya Upanishad, which is commented upon by Prabhupada. Everything belongs to the Lord. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate. An advanced soul sees that. He doesn't try to possess anything and enjoy anything for himself. And even if he does for his basic sustenance, he acknowledges it belongs to the Lord, and I'm temporarily the custodian, and I can take what I need for my sustenance and leave behind, knowing fully well to whom it belongs. This is an advanced person. But there are other persons like Ravana on the other extreme end. Whom does it belong to? Who the guy is? I am the strongest. Aham Ishwaro, Aham Bhogi, Balavan Sukhi, mentioned in the 16th chapter. I am the Lord. I am the supreme. I am the enjoyer. Everything belongs to me. That was Ravana's thing. Right opposite. So he said, I am not going to do it. I won't do it. I am here to enjoy and possess and exploit these resources for myself. They are mine. This is a materialistic mentality. Ravana has this mentality on a very big scale, and everybody in this material mentality world has got that mentality in a smaller scale. Possessions and enjoyment of these possessions, and then comparing yourselves with others, politicking, intriguing in order to get these possessions. This is materialistic mentality, because you're completely cut off from any consciousness of the person who is the supreme Godhead who has created this for you. That mentality of thinking that I can take the Lord's possession, even his own consort I can take and enjoy. What can he do? That's a materialistic mentality. That's the Asuric mentality. So this whole planet has been screwed up because of the Industrial Revolution and the great economy and the great stuff they did. And there's climate change that's, heating up like nothing. The ice caps are melting. There is sea level rising. And all sorts of crazy things are happening on the planet. It's because of exploitation of the resources of Mother Nature, of the earth, with no consideration as to whom it belongs to and how it should be utilized and how it should be respected as belonging to the Supreme Lord. Isavashyamidam sarvam. That mentality is the Ravana mentality. And that's why the leaders of the society have led the whole human race down hellish pathway. And they're not still, understanding it. And a new generation of people are coming up and say, you guys completely screwed it up. You're handing over this legacy to us. And you are a bunch of useless guys who don't know how to do things. And you can see this rebellious whole thing coming up. And that's why, religion, tradition, everything is being hit. Give answers to these questions. What you guys did till now? Why is there, warming up of the planet like this? Because of all these greenhouse gases, because of all this, because of that, and everything, pollution, etc. And nobody is answering anything properly. They're continuing to live their life polluting the atmosphere, drilling, extracting oil, and screwing up things and doing all sorts of funny things. Nobody is having the proper consciousness. Very dangerous situation. But these are the leaders who are leading us. Right? So this Ravana mentality or the Ravana moment of humanity has to be checked with the Rama arrow. It has to be killed. And that's what really happens. Ravana continues to be what he is, stubbornly. Just like many leaders stubbornly do the wrong thing because it gives them money, it gives them fame, it gives them position, and they don't bother about the lives of so many other creatures, animals, birds, insects, and other human beings. Horrible. Horrible. And it's been going on for centuries like that. So definitely the end will be something like Lanka getting destroyed if it goes on like this, right? That's what happened. So Ravana refused to give Sita. He went back and got ready for war. Even before the war, Mandodari told him, why don't you just give back Sita? You have so many women with you. I've never opposed it. I never said anything about it. And she spoke wise counsel, which he could not hear. Right? So 10-headed Ravana, lust, greed, anger, envy, everything, all these qualities, his 10 heads, was beheaded with one single arrow of Ramachandra. It didn't require much. Of course, lots of things happen in between. We are not going through those things. But one single arrow of Ravana, of Ramachandra, everything was finished. The entire army was routed. And it is the monkey army that did it. You see, that's why the saying goes that Ravana had high-tech army. He had flying planes and he had yogic capacities to be invisible and come, and he had all sorts of flying chariots and fantastic. Rakshasas have all sorts of capacities, yogic capacities. He had highly advantageous situation he was in, high-tech weapons. But all Ramachandra had is all these monkeys and bears, and all they could throw was stones and treetops and mountaintops, and these are the things they were doing, jumping around here and then, screaming. That's all they could do. It's only Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and some of them who had arrows and everything, and they were shooting. But they routed the entire high-tech army of Ravana. Jayastu Panduputranam Tashaham Pakshe Janardana. Similar thing happened in Kurukshetra war. That because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas, the Kauravas got routed. They were finished. So in the end, you'll always see principles given by the Lord. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That what the Lord has said is dharma that will rule supreme, because he will come and uphold it. And it seems that nobody is in charge. It seems that the demons are getting the upper hand. And it seems that we should join the side of the demons. No, don't. You should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Take shelter of Ramachandra and continue to follow his instructions. In the end, the devotees will always be victorious. In the end, all these monkeys were very victorious. They were real Vanara race that victoriously triumphed and came back with Sita. Right? So Prabhupada compared this. He said that bring Sita back from Ravana to the service of Narayana. And he said that when you go to get wealth from people for the sake of Krishna's service, don't think it's not required. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. To upkeep dharma, to uphold dharma, we need artha, especially in this modern world. And artha, wealth, Lakshmi, is very happy to come and uphold the dharma of Ramachandra, uphold the dharma of Krishna mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. She is very pleased to serve Narayana, right? So this way Prabhupada said, release Lakshmi from the holding of the Ravanas, and there'll be peaceful, wonderful Ram Rajya again. Prabhupada gave this very amazing statement. And he said, you can never have Ram Rajya without Rama. People are asking to have Ram Rajya without Rama. You have to recognize the Supreme Lord. You have to connect with him. You have to follow his order, and we will have a very wonderful, peaceful, prosperous existence. This is the sum and substance of the Ramayana and the lessons we heard from the Ramayana also. But in the context of Ravana, I was just trying to state these things. How we may have sometimes the Ravana element amidst us, from one of us coming up, and all of a sudden it trounces everybody And we think that's the thing we should do. No, we should always keep up the principles that Ramachandra has told us. We should always keep up the principles that Krishna told us in the Bhagavad Gita, and we will be victorious. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhuti, Dhruvani Tirimatir Mama. The last shloka of Bhagavad Gita says that wherever there is Krishna, and wherever there are devotees, followers like Arjuna, Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvaniti Matir Mama. He said, wherever it is like this, you will have Sri, means you'll have plenty of Lakshmi, wealth. Vijaya, victory. Dhruva, Dhruvaniti, you will have highest moral principles. Wherever you follow the order and the instructions of the Lord, there is no doubt about it. Seemingly in the short term, you get all these funny feelings that, oh, it's not working or something. No, it works. It's the only thing that really works, right? So we should uphold the principles given by the great acharyas, by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada coming in the line. And these are Krishna's instructions. These are Ramachandra's instructions. And you'll see how Ramachandra will rout the entire demon clan and re-establish Vibhishana there as king. That's another amazing thing. That right from within Ravana's fold, there is Vibhishana, who is a saintly person, but born as a demon. Born as a demon. But he doesn't have that Asuric mentality. He's born in the demon class. He worked for Ravana. He worked for that whole kingdom. He did everything possible. And he gave just this good advice to Ravana. Please don't do this. It's going to really kill you. I can see it coming for you. Everything else is okay. I was with you. But when you did this, I think I can no more be with you because you're going to get destroyed. And he didn't see it. But Vibhishana came and took shelter of Ramachandra. That's a very poignant instance in the Ramayana. When everybody else says, don't trust this Vibhishana. And only Hanuman and Ramachandra decide, no. And that's a famous statement that Ramachandra makes at that time. Sakrit eva prapanno tava asmiti cha uchyate abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami etam vratam mama. This is cited by everybody all the time. Even if once, kinchit, sakrit eva prapanno. Prapanna means surrender. Even if once a person comes to me, my Lord Ramachandra, I surrender to you, I am yours. Please protect me, please shelter me. Even if once he comes to me and says, Tava asmiti cha uchyate. Uchyate means he says, Tava asmiti, I am yours. If he tells this to me, Abhayam sarva bhutebhyo, he can be fearless for the rest of existence. Dadami etam vritam mama, I will give him fearlessness. And this is my vow. I give protection. That's why after all that has happened, he sent Angad and told, maybe Ravana is a nice guy. He just made a mistake. Tell him to just return Sita alone. I'll give him 100% marks. And I'll look after him. I'll help him. I'll be his good friend. Please say this. So Krishna is so merciful. He's so kind. He doesn't want to get into war. It doesn't want to do it the wrong way. But what can you do when there is persistent, stubborn, demoniac attitudes like this? So Ramachandra, he gave shelter to Vibhishana, although he is from that clan. And he immediately put faith in him with no great familiarity, nothing. But Hanuman had known, and in his visit to Lanka, Vibhishana stood out. And Vibhishana's sister was helping Sita in Ashokavana and counseling her and helping her. She was also a devotee. So in this way, he spoke good about Vibhishana. And he said, you must give this person shelter. He's a devotee. And Lord Ramachandra immediately understood that and gave shelter to Vibhishana. And Vibhishana became the king of Lanka. He became the king of Lanka and he ruled wonderfully. He ruled wonderfully, right? So it really doesn't matter if you're born in a, demoniac family. Just like Prahalad and just like Bhishma and just like Bali, Prahalad and Bali and Vibhishana, you can even be a devotee, even from a demoniac family, right? And at the same time, you can be a demon even inside a Brahminical family. In Kali Yuga, you see these combinations. There is a shloka in the, which Purana is that, I forget, that says that in Kali Yuga, demons take birth in Brahmin families. And using their Brahminical status, they will rout the whole place. So Kali Yuga is a very strange place. So that's something about the taste of what Ravana is, what demoniac forces are, and what's a great advantage we have that we are able to get introduced to the Bhagavad Gita, to the Bhagavat, to devotees, and to Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and in his association, we can get good guidance. Om Tat Sat. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Any question, any comment you have, you can say that now, or we can meet tomorrow.
Hare Maharaji. It was wonderful class. Learned so many things today. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Right? Since there's no other comment or question, Om Tat Sat, it's getting a little late, it's 9:30, and we wake up at 3:45, 3:30 in the morning. So we need at least 6 hours of rest. So I'll take leave. Hari Bol.
Maharaj.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Maharaj. Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.